So what is up, Africana fam? It's your girl Young Africana back at it again with another install video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I got this summer inspired wet and wavy type install. This install is perfect for vacation. It also will last you super long using this frontal install method. So if you want to see how I achieve this look, then keep on watching. So this hair is sponsored from Asteria Hair. This is their Water Wave 13x4 HD lace frontal wig in 26 inches, and the density is 250%. So the hair is super thick, and these are the goodies that come inside the box. We have a melt band, some lashes, a wig cap, and also a baby hair comb. So this is how the hair looks like straight out the box. As you guys can see, it's super full, and it comes with 2 combs inside. And I'm going to be showing you guys how to bleach and pluck your knots. So right now I'm training the hair backwards with my hot comb, and I'm just using the hot comb just to train all the hair backwards and making sure that there's no hair laying on the lace. And once we have the hair trained back, we are now going to bleach the knots. I'm starting off with a dye bowl, a whisk. I'm using my Clairol BW2 bleaching powder and then my Clairol. Now I went ahead and took 2 scoops of the bleaching powder, and I'm going to eyeball my liquid developer. You want to make sure that it's about 2 to 1, so 2 parts of powder and about 1 part of developer. And you want to make sure that you keep on mixing it. I like to use this whisk just because I feel like I get rid of any bumps or lumps inside of the mix. You want to make sure that it is not bumpy and it is completely smooth, but also I'm looking for a very thick consistency. And how to test it is I just literally just shake it on the whisk, and if it falls, then it is too liquidy. So now I'm going in with a little bit of more bleaching powder and just to thicken up that consistency. And once you shake it and it doesn't drop, you have it thick enough so that it doesn't seep through your lace. So now on to the bleaching part. I'm going to go ahead and throw on some gloves, and I'm using a metal butter knife, but please use a plastic one. I just didn't have any plastic ones on hand. And I have the wig inside out, and I'm using the butter knife just to gently glide on the mixture. I like to start off with the hairline, the front of the hairline first, and then the back second. And once I'm done with that, I like to go into the hair and like to lift up the hair to make sure that the hair isn't laying directly onto the lace, so that the roots of the hair won't get bleached. And I let that sit for about 30 minutes or until you start seeing it turn a little bit orange. You don't want it completely blonde. You do want it to be more on the orange side. And now I'm going to go ahead and rinse off that bleach just to, deactivate the bleach first before going in with my Joico blue shampoo. And I let that blue shampoo sit for about 10 minutes and then rinsed it off, and these are my final results. So now on to the plucking. So what I like to do is I like to go in about 1 inch into the hairline, and I like to start off with the sides first. And I'm just gonna go ahead and separate the front of the hairline from the back of it. And I'm using my tweezers on the slant side against the lace frontal, and I'm gonna go ahead and start plucking behind the part. As you guys can see, I'm always just plucking in different areas. You want to make sure that you're plucking in areas that look pretty dense, and once it doesn't look dense anymore, you're just going to go ahead and continue on to the next area. And I like to go ahead and just use my hands just to kind of grab the hair and to move any loose hairs that I plucked out already. And once I've done that about a couple of times, I am going to go in with my comb and comb out the fallen hair. And again, you're plucking right behind that hairline and plucking in areas that look like it's dense, and making sure you're plucking in different areas. So I would say about every 5 plucks, I use my hand just to kind of smooth the hair back and to get rid of the fallen hair. And once that's done, I am gonna go in and comb all the hair back, and then start parting away where like the hair starts to, thin out, which is right in front. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the same method. And since this lace frontal wig is already pre-plucked, I only really do the sides. I don't like plucking in the middle, especially if the hair is already pre-plucked, just because I don't like plucking out potentially my part and my parts to be huge. So I really only try to just pluck the sides. If I have to pluck the middle part, then I will do that. But in this case, I only plucked the sides of the frontal. And again, I'm just plucking in different areas right behind that part. I'm not plucking on the part. And you're combing that out. And you should have your frontal looking like this. I don't like my hair to look too plucked out because the hair does fall out over time, but I feel like this is a natural density. This makes sense, and it's not super thin in the front. And this is how one side look, and this is how the other look. As you can see, there's a huge difference. And now on to tinting my lace. I like to go in with the I'ma Slay Your Bae lace tint in the color Mocha, and I'm going to go ahead and spray that all over the lace. I like to spray that in front and at the back of the lace. And I let that sit for about 15 minutes. And I did 2 layers and let that dry completely. And now onto the frontal install. I am cleaning off my hairline with 91% alcohol and just a little pad. And I like to do this twice around my hairline just to make sure that all the dirt and oils from my hairline is cleaned off before we continue on with the install. And right now I'm just putting on the wig and kind of mapping out where exactly I want it to lay on my head. And then I like to go ahead and cut some slits right there at my temples. And this just helps me move the wig around more. It helps me give me more flexibility when pulling and tugging on the wig. And I'm now cutting off the excess lace that is around my ears, just because you don't want to be uncomfortable. And once I have that position where I want it to be, I'm going to just simply just flip the wig back. And now on to the install. I am using my Erica J Hold Me Down adhesive, and I'm using 3 layers of this. And I'm starting off in the middle area first. And then I'm going to go ahead and start off with the sides and using my rat tail comb just to smear it on that glue. You want to make sure that the width of your glue is about 1 inch wide. So I have a bit of the glue on my actual wig cap and then also on my skin as well for just like maximum hold. And you just want to make sure that the lace is drying completely clear before you apply your next layer. And also make sure that there are no bumps or bubbles in your glue when you are smearing it down. You want to make sure that you have a flat surface of glue and it's super thin as well. And again, I'm just only doing 3 layers. So now that the first layer is dry, I'm going on to my second one, and I'm just doing the same thing. I'm starting with the middle, and I like to work in sections when smearing down the glue, just so that the glue doesn't dry fast on me if I were to do the entire perimeter, and I'm just able to smear it out. And once that third layer is dried completely clear, I'm now going to go ahead and start off with the middle part. And I'm going to make sure that I am placing the hairline in front of the glue, not behind it or directly on top of it, but in front of the glue, just so that there's no messiness or cleanup that I have to do when it comes to cleaning up the glue, because that is a messy job within itself. So once I have that down and pressed down, I like to press down on the lace onto the glue with my hands, and now I'm using my eyebrow razor just to cut in a jagged motion to cut off the excess lace and cut as close to the hairline as possible. And once that's done, I like to go ahead and check in with my work, and I like to lift up the lace and then apply any glue to any lifted lace. And I'm just using my rat tail comb to kind of outline the outline of where the lace starts at, and I'm doing 3 layers of this as well. And once I'm done with that, I like to use the teeth of my rat tail comb just to press my lace into the glue. And now onto the baby hairs. I am doing baby hairs all over my hairline, especially because I'm going on vacation. I actually went to Thailand and the weather there is hot. So if you want to preserve your wig and make sure that your hairline is not lifting, please do baby hairs all over. I promise you the baby hairs protect your lace from lifting. So now onto the melting process. I'm using my Spritz Mega Hold spray, and I'm also going in with one more layer of my Amasleo Bay lace tint in the color Mocha, just so that the lace isn't too light and it matches my skin tone. So I'm gonna go in and let that sit for about 15 minutes. As you guys can see, this is the first melt, and now we're gonna go ahead and do my second melt. And I'm just using my fingers and spraying the spray on my hand, the spritz spray on my hand, just so I have a clean and flawless melt and I'm not spraying it all over my head. And then I like to go in with my Erica J Fluff Stuff lotion just to further the melt. And this is melt number 2. And I'm going to use my melt band and let that sit for about 15 to 30 minutes as well. And once that's done, we are taking it off, and as y'all can see, the melt is melting. Okay, I am gonna comb out just the hairs that are stuck onto my skin, and now it's on to cutting the baby hairs. I'm using my eyebrow razor, and I'm using the middle section first, and I like to cut my middle section shorter than the rest of the hair, just because I like my middle sections to be short, or my middle baby hairs to be short, and everything else would be long. So the middle will be probably about 1 inch, and the sides would be about 1.5 inches. And my tendrils, I like to just make sure that I cut them right below my earlobe. And now I'm going in with my Erica J Fluff Stuff lotion, and I'm just gonna go ahead and use my baby hair comb just to carve out my baby hairs. And this is truly an art, y'all. Go ahead and just have fun with it. Make sure you don't apply too much, and also you want to make sure that you're not using the comb too hard, because then you're going to start lifting up your lace, and you do not want that. And as I'm doing this, I do end up cutting some of the baby hairs as well, just to kind of form it to my liking. So again, have fun, play around with the hairs, and once you're done, I like to just leave this alone and let this dry by itself. And while that is drying, I'm just pressing out my hairline to make sure that it's nice and, uniformed. I am doing a no part with this look. I definitely think that this look is vacation friendly. And once that is completely dry, I am now going to go ahead and comb out my baby hairs with my comb, and still start cutting a little bit up until my liking and everything. Now I like to go in with the brush part of the baby hair comb, and I did spray about a pump of spritz on the brush part, just to kind of really uniform those baby hairs, because it is more on the fluffier side. So for all my beginners that want something that is sleek to your hairline but not super gelled, do this method, and this is how your results should come out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you have not. Click that bell to get notified of when I drop my videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.